Good morning, good morning, good morning. Third grade. I hope that we had a great spring break. I hope that we got a lot of rest as well. For today, we're just going to review over Abraham Lincoln, Dwight L. Moody, Clara Barton, Ulysses S. Grant, and also General E. Lee. We're just going to review these figures for a test that we have later this week. Now let's first start off with Abraham Lincoln. Remember, he was the president, elected president. Remember, he was born in Kentucky. He lived in a log cabin, and he had a nickname Honest Abe. Basically, from each job that he had, he was always honest. As times moved on, the northern states and the southern states started to have a little conflict. Basically, the southern states wanted to do their own thing. They didn't really like the laws from the government. They actually wanted to form their own country. So when Abraham Lincoln was elected president, that's when the Civil War began. Now remember, the Civil War, we had General Lee in charge of the Confederates in the southern states, and then you had General Grant for the northern states. And there was a big war. A lot of people lost their lives on both sides, and it got to the point where the northern states, they were winning the war. So Robert E. Lee, he actually decided to surrender. Now, being the type of man that General Grant was, he was honest. He let General Lee and the Confederates, they could take what they had with them, take their horses and everything that they had with them. Now, due to how courageous he was and the leadership skills that he showed during the war, Ulysses S. Grant was actually became president. And then when we get to Robert E. Lee, people followed him into the war because he showed a lot of leadership. He actually had a college named after him. And then as we move on, from another viewpoint of the war, we have Clara Barton. She was a very prominent character in the war as well, and especially to this day because of her basically starting the Red Cross. So Red Cross, it was in other countries, but it was not established in the United States. Now, Clara Barton, she wasn't a warrior, she wasn't a soldier in the army, but basically she was a medic, so she took care of many people who were injured. Even got to the point where she rode her horse out into the battlefield. There were some bullets going past her, and through God's grace and the angel's protection over her, she was able to not be injured and take care of those who were injured during the war. So the test that we will have this week will basically be over the people that we covered so far in history.